Hi, it's Rob Sullivan. Today we are going to talk about the importance of giving our ideas time to develop. So for me, if I'm going to do some writing, what I will often do is I will sit down and I will open a note in my iPhone and I'll just make a note of all the points that I want to get across. And over days or a few weeks, however much time I have, I'll begin to prepare by coming up with ideas and adding that to the list. Then when I do sit down to write, usually whatever I need to write writes itself. Now, more often than not, somewhere along the line, I'll have that idea in my head and say, oh, well, maybe I should do it today. And then I'll think, no, just wait. There's not enough there yet. Well, honestly, about half the time that's me procrastinating because there's probably plenty there. I just didn't feel like doing it. So you don't want to use it as an excuse not to do something because you could really overthink things into never getting done. But what you do want to do is make sure that you've given whatever it is, the life and the time to expand. What comes to mind is a seed. It doesn't turn into a plant overnight. It takes a bit of time. And so our ideas are like that too. What are we doing to let that happen? Now, another part of that process is not being attached to the outcome. My friend Alex is a really good example of this. He was a creative in advertising, and he used to challenge himself to write 300 headlines. If he had to write a headline, he'd come up with 300 different variations. And if he didn't feel like he found one that he liked, he'd challenge himself to write another 300. That is dedication. It's also important because he wasn't attached to any one particular outcome. You don't want to have an attachment to something because if you are overly attached to it, then no one will give you the feedback that you need to, make the right decision because maybe what you did isn't quite as good as you thought it was. And if people sense that you're going to be really hurt and upset if they tell you that candidly, then they may not give you the feedback that you need on your idea. So you have to be careful about that. It's a bit of a balancing act. You want to be excited about what you came up with, but you don't want to be so attached to it that you're not going to make good decisions moving forward or people won't feel comfortable helping you with that. Wonderful process, though. It's amazing. I'm still learning. I love doing it. It's an ongoing thing. So keep that in mind as you're coming up with ideas and as you're challenging yourself to start new projects. What can you do to let the idea begin to grow on its own?